Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.
That was terrible. That was so bad.
That was pretty
That
bad.
sounded pretty good to me, actually.
Oh, yeah?
It's weird how it sounds
bad.
good for some people and other
Yeah,
people it's like...
so bad.
I heard
You wanna
like
ask us any
4
questions?
Okay, yeah, we better ask questions. Like, Emily, what's up?
Nothing.
Great.
Oh,
Hey, John, are you prepared for today?
Absolutely not.
Perfect. Elena, I'm digging the no sleeves.
Thank you.
And Bill. Hey, Bill.
Hi, Leland.
Was that what you had planned
Well.
to say?
Even if this doesn't work, it's great.
It's good content.
That was my speed.
That might be actually pretty good before every session. It's like our improv warm-up.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yes, and?
Yes, and
Okay, here we go.
Oh, we're starting now?
Yep. Hello, patrons. Here we are with our first mini campaign. First, thanks to all of you who have donated to the Patreon account. This is 100% your fault, so if everything goes terribly wrong, you can blame yourselves.
yay!
So we put a vote up, and on which RPG we wanted to do,
It's very difficult.
and Paranoia won out by a landslide.
You know
I
what?
wonder why.
You know what I like about that? We don't have to explain that to all of the listeners because the patrons should know exactly what we're talking about. We don't actually have
That's
to
right.
explain these terrible jokes that we make.
Yeah,
If you like this
they
much,
know us. They know us by now.
you're
I thought
a
it was
lost
wonderful.
cause.
I thought
Yeah.
that was an inspirational joke, actually.
Ooh.
But I digress. Because we're not playing D&D today. We're playing Paranoia, which is a game I played many years ago. It was published back in 1984, originally by West End Games. And then they had a number of different versions of it. In 2004, Mongoose Publishing took it over. They released it a few times. Of course, I haven't played it. And I just knew it was chaos back when I originally played it. But the one we're playing today was published in 2016. It's a single box. Got everything in it. It's called, I think it's called Red. It's called Red Clearance Edition. It has a player's handbook and the game master's guide and all the things you're going to need, cards and stuff like that. So we're going to do character creation today with the guys and just get everything put together. And then we're going to maybe go over a few rules and talk about how the game works. It's really more set up to be played around the table because there's cards and other things that you do with each other. But we're going to sort of modify some of those rules to be able to do it on a podcast so everybody can enjoy it. So let's get started. The first thing we'll do is we'll talk a little bit about what Paranoia is. It's a future dystopian world where all of you live in a place called Alpha Complex. Alpha Complex it's a wonderful place. Matter of fact, happiness is mandatory in Alpha Complex. You are all what's left of humanity, and
Damn, that's sad.
Ugh.
Alpha Complex is great, and it's all run by your friend, the computer. Friend Computer is here to make sure everything runs fine and everyone is happy. Each of you have what's called a 6-pack, so you have 6 clones,
Dang.
and you'll start with your first clone, of course, and things will happen that may require us to retire one of these clones. And, hopefully not if you're doing everything you're supposed to do and Friend Computer's happy with you, you can live a long and prosperous life as clone number 1. Each of you have what's called a security level. So the more that happier you are, the happier you are with society, and the better you deal with Friend Computer. You will gain experience points and eventually be able to move yourself up into the higher security levels and get more and more happiness and different things that you can do for Friend Computer. The security levels start at infrared and then follow sort of the Roy G. Biv color scheme all the way up, with the highest level being ultraviolet right after violet. So you will all be security clearance level red. So you're not the lowest of the low, but you're just barely above the lowest of the low.
Sounds about right.
So you've been lucky enough to survive. You've been created and sort of spat out, and you've done some menial task enough to where friend computer believes you're worthy enough to gain some experience to move on to red level. So let's go ahead and start. Everybody has their character sheets, and the first thing we're going to do is go around. I've already set up the rotation here at the table since it is somewhat important. Leland will be first, Elena, Emily, then Bill.
Well, this is rigged.
I'll say right from the beginning, yes, everything will be rigged.
Super rigged.
The GM has, this is a chaotic game, and a lot of things will happen at my will.
So don't piss off John, so I'm probably going to die first.
No, you're all going to be in trouble, more than likely. But this is probably by your own hand. So let's start with Leland. Leland, do you have a name?
I do. My name is Throbby R. BDE1.
Okay.
Blech. I mean,
Typically, the name has your red level clearance would be the R. Your last number in your name is going to be your clone number, and the 3-letter code is the home sector. But we're playing this fast and loose. I'm not going to require that they use the exact breakdown of this. The only thing I want is to make sure that the clone number is correct. So when you do die, you need a new clone number.
Yeah, I just realized that the more I die, the larger my BDE gets.
Ah.
I do not approve of this. I'm glad that this is Patreon only because it limits the number of people who are
Have to
going to
be
hear
subjected
this.
to
we're
this.
gonna hear this.
Come on. Even on the main show, everyone hears about BDE. Okay? Come on.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been mentioned.
So do we need to have some kind of warning up front? This will not be.
Yeah, don't play this
will
in
be
front of your
It's
parents
not
or your
safe for
kids.
work.
PG-25, something like that.
At least. Not G-rated.
That is incredibly ironic because my sense of humor does cater to 13-year-olds, so.
There you go.
I'm right with you there, buddy.
Elena, you have a name?
My first name is That's What, and that is THATSWAT. That's What G, and sector SED, SED, Clone 1. That's what G said.
Okay. Not surprising.
So, I mean, I'm pointing the finger at Throbby.
I am seeing already a trend with these names.
All right. I think we go down to Emily.
Yeah, my name is Can. Can you hear me? 1.
Sorry, what did you say?
Can you hear me?
She's French.
Not doing the accent.
All right, Bill.
So my first name is Roy, and my security clearance, as you know, is R. My sector is BIV. I have aspirations to attain security clearance G.
Yes, it's good to have goals and to start out early.
Yes.
Roy R. Biv.
So from here forth will be Throbby, That's, Can, and Roy. Sound good?
I want to be That's What.
That's what.
That's
That's
what.
what.
That's What. Mm-hmm. I like the full name.
She's not a nickname kind of person. Clone.
No, I'm not. I'm also maybe not a she. I don't know yet.
Well, we'll get to that.
I don't mind going by TR, actually. You can call me TR. You know,
Instead
in
of
case
Throbby?
Throbby doesn't sit well in your mouth.
Wow. Wow.
He makes you say Shaft
Wow.
every week. I mean,
I'm going to let the laughter die down before I respond to that.
Okay, I'm good.
Oh boy. You know, this patron only stuff could actually be a lot less polished as far as the editing out all of our shit goes.
big old poop storm.
All right, so it's TR, That's What, Can, and Roy. All right, so now the next thing we're going to talk about is your gender. Well, in Alpha Complex, Thanks to hormone suppressants and extensive cloning facilities, real-time pixelization of genitals, and genetically modified bodies and minds, gender is not a big concern in Alpha Complex. Actually, gender discrimination is treasonous because it wastes valuable time. When women, men, cisgender, transgender, non-binary, and intersex people are equally capable of serving a computer. All of them work equally as well as reactor shielding should they fail in their duties. Sexuality...
Reactor shielding.
Yeah. Took me a second to
I clicked. It did take a second to click.
Sexuality, however, is a different concern. Heterosexuality is treasonous, as it makes a mockery of the computer's extensive cloning facilities. The computer has no official stance on homosexuality due to its lack of programming on the matter, and it treats it as a form of enthusiastic wrestling. It's unadvisable if there's a traitor nearby.
I like wrestling.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, man.
Don't have babies.
What gender would you all like to be, if any?
I'm still going to be female.
Yeah, I'll stick with male. It's what I know. Got a lot of experience in that.
You can literally just say you don't know.
You can say, I don't want
right?
to decide, and that's fine with us.
Ambiguous, undecided.
I should say us, as friend computer.
Yeah, yes. It's
We
like,
don't mind.
It's like the queen.
That's right. TR, did you want to make a designation?
I'll be non-binary.
And that's what? Did you tell me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm nothing.
Okay.
I'm
Undecided.
So
just chilling.
fill your character sheet in as well. So now we're going to go to your personality. So what I want you to do there is I want you to choose 3 adjectives that will describe you as a person. Example might be helpful, loyal, reckless, something for each of you to sort of boil down what you think your core personality traits are.
Just like we do in real life.
Yeah.
You write down your personality traits?
Since the first time we met, the 4 of you, I boiled down each and every one of you into three adjectives.
Into 3 words.
Yeah. And so far, you
Oh,
haven't
gosh.
grown or moved outside of those boxes I've put you in. So it's honestly a little disappointing.
I think it's a reflection on your
Predictable.
ability to read
More
people's character.
predictability.
Oh, I see.
immediately.
So I'm not
First
picking up
interaction.
on the nuances of each of your personalities.
That's right.
and-
No, you're just really good at reading character from
the
from a
other
first
way.
meet.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. I thought the traits were way too vague that you chose. Like breathing.
Alive. Yeah.
Alive. Yeah.
You all shared a number of them, I will admit.
Brown-eyed.
Annoying was
We
the
all
third
have
one.
brown hair, except for
Annoying.
John.
That's right.
Yeah, there's an NA. John Hare, NA.
Mine's becoming less and less brown.
What's a word for like somebody that's like jumpy, like skitterish? What is the word for
Get
that?
it? Skittish.
Skittish?
Skittish.
Yeah.
Skittish,
Or jumpy.
okay.
Yeah.
Jumpy works.
I knew skitter-ish wasn't a word, but I couldn't think of.
Aunt Heather. My Aunt Heather is the definition, is what you find in the dictionary when you look that up.
So I should just
Bill,
write down
get
Aunt
out of
Heather
here.
then. My
She's-
personality trait is
She's
Aunt
so
Heather.
easily spooked.
We do not throw our
We can cut
family
that
under
out.
the bus on this.
That joke's
Like
only funny
everybody
to
knows
me.
your Aunt Heather.
What? What's a word for someone who has like the absolute worst timing all the time? I can't think of what that is.
I'm
but that's
sure
what I
there's an
want it to
adjective
be.
for that.
I was going to be mean and say Elena.
I know.
First thought that came to my mind as
No.
well.
Listen, I am not being myself. Thank you. Inappropriate.
That works.
Inopportune.
Inopportune, that works.
I kind of think inappropriate works, but
There's probably a better, more well-suited word for that as a character trait, but
I think inappropriate / inopportune is one thing.
inappropriate's more broad, though, I think.
Yeah, let's see here. We can always cut all this out, so let's...
Yeah, we can always cut all this out. Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how it works, too. You just...
It's like
We just go, we can cut this out, and then it just never happens.
Yeah, he just leaves it in. Inappropriate it is, you guys. It fits better anyway. Fits better.
So I thought you weren't making your character to be yourself.
I'm not making the character myself.
So far, it's a perfect match.
First of all, I am a woman in real life.
What?
Yep.
Damn,
I can
didn't know
confirm that, actually.
Oh, now you're making
Look
me
at that
question the
smile.
other two words I have because you're going to start saying it's me.
I'm not going to guess because I'm going to dig myself a huge hole.
Yeah. What are the two other words for me, Bo?
No.
Come on.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You're not
Come
you're
on.
not baiting me into that.
Enthusiastic.
There you go. Enthusiastic.
Lovable.
Right. Okay.
Wow.
I don't know to. Ugh.
Okay, so let's start with TR. What were your personality adjectives?
So TR is commandeering, which is a verb, but an alpha complex is an adjective. So he just likes to take over situations. Because he's not like commanding, because I don't think he inspires like leadership, but he likes to just go in and wrestle the reins from people. So he's also direct and aggressive.
So before we go any further, everybody should write these down on the back of your character sheets for your other characters. So TR was commandeering.
Direct and aggressive.
Erect.
Wait, what?
Yeah, erect.
Direct.
Now,
Wait, I thought we weren't supposed to describe ourselves.
Leland's often erect.
I am hard 90% of the time. That's right.
okay, that's what. What do you got?
That's what G said is a inappropriate, perfectionistic, anxious person.
Are you kidding me?
What? Why are you laughing,
No
Boo?
reason.
Shut up. This is not me.
Can.
Helpful, organized, skittish.
And Roy.
Did you pick helpful, Em?
I did.
You did. I did as well.
We can help each other.
It was one that John mentioned, and I was just like, you know what? I like that. So Roy is helpful. He's also traitorous.
Uh-oh.
And he's reckless.
I can't spell traitorous. Get out of here.
You don't have to spell it to be it. That's what TR, that's TR's model.
That's erect.
That's with two E's.
That's two. That's right. Okay, so that gets us done with the first part one of the character sheets. We'll go to part two right now. You guys will have 50 experience points. We'll put down there for you. That's deemed by the GM, and I can give them at my pleasure or take them away.
So
Also, you see there's
we'll get more when we kill the Kraken.
You will get experience points based on accomplishing goals, which is not something on the other podcasts that we do very often.
By the time this comes out, I really hope we've killed the Kraken. I really hope we have.
So, yeah, but you can use experience points to, of course, level up, or you can purchase things with experience. So it's sort of like a money, too.
Oh, cool.
And we'll get into that a little bit more when we start talking about equipment and other things. As you see in part two, it does say trees and stars. Currently, you are at 0. What trees and stars are is inside your cerebral cortex is basically a heads-up display that you can see in your eyes. All of you are clones, and you have different sort of think Terminator. You can see things within your heads-up display.
What's the Terminator?
It's an old movie.
I'm just kidding.
It's a movie that came out, actually, I believe, close to or in the same year as this game was first published.
Oh, there you
Nice
go.
callback, John. Very good.
Yeah, good job. And so the computer will give you these trees and stars to help maybe correct some actions that you've taken or things that you may not be doing. And the computer, of course, is your friend and wants to help you in every way. And sometimes you need just a little smack in the right direction. And these trees and stars will come up on your heads-up display, and others can see these when they see you, that how many trees and stars you might have, to sort of get an idea of what kind of person you are, how well you are getting along with Friend Computer, and we can get into the loyalty ratings a little bit more, but I'll just say that it starts if you have 1 star, you're sort of, everybody's a little suspicious of you maybe. At 5 stars, you will probably be changing the number on the end of your name.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I see where you're going with
Alrighty.
that.
So let's move down to stats. So this is where we're really going to get into the actual creation of your character. So you see there is a stat area and a skills area. The stats have different categories: violence, brains, chutzpah, and mechanics. We will be filling those out in a minute, but right now we're going to sort of move down to part 3 in the area of skills. So the way this is going to work is we're all sitting around the table here, and we're going to start with Leland, which is why I've already sort of set where you guys are sitting. And what he is going to do is, if you look down through these skills, we'll read through them. He is going to pick one of these skills and give it a +1 skill number. So he will write a 1 in one of these different categories. And then the next person in line, in this case will be Elena, will take a -1 in whatever category that Leland chose. So if Leland chose athletics of positive, you will have an athletics of -1. Now, what these skills are going to be doing is they're going to be creating dice pools that we're going to use whenever you're going to be doing any kind of skills challenge or thing that you want to do in the game. And we're going to, of course, the positive numbers you're going to have, the more dice you're going to, or the more numbers you have, your dice will be able to roll. And we'll get into how all that works in a little while. All you need to know right now is low numbers, negative numbers bad, positive numbers good. And so as you start creating your characters here, we are going to be not only making your character good, but you're also going to be screwing the next person in line. So to start out, Leland, you have we'll read through these real quick. We have athletics, guns, melee, throw, science, psychology, bureaucracy, alpha complex, bluff, charm, intimidate, stealth, operate, engineer, program, and demolition. So all these are skills that you guys will be able to try to convince me as the GM on which of these skills you use to complete a certain task. So let's get started.
Okay. This is cool. These skills are all pretty self-explanatory. Really, just 2 questions about bureaucracy. I imagine relates to how you can navigate within the levels of the clearance levels kind of thing.
So it says here it's more of your knowledge and intuition around multiple levels of bureaucracy within Alpha Complex, yes.
Okay, so like all the paperwork you gotta fill in, you're adept at doing that. Okay, and then obviously Alpha Complex probably relates to knowledge of the complex itself.
Yes, absolutely. And how the inner workings, you'll know who you need to talk to, what you need to do, who you need to convince, those kind of things.
Okay.
Doing things by the book.
Sure.
Pick a good one.
Looking at that's what's characteristics, inappropriate, perfectionist, and anxious. I'm gonna play to give you a negative and not care so much about what my positive is right now. So
you can only start you're starting with 1. We're going to go around the table and it's a positive 1.
Yeah, he's just thinking about the fact that all get a -1.
Okay.
And so it makes sense that I'm going to give myself a 1 in bluff.
Okay.
I knew you were going to pick that.
I was about to say bluff or intimidate.
I feel like
would be
bluff
perfect
is
yeah.
is the one you want to take in this game.
So then I take -1.
You will take a -1. Yes.
And I thought that makes sense because that's what is anxious.
It does.
I imagine them being all fidgety and when they're trying to lie, the beads of sweat pouring down their forehead. So now the choice Elena makes will give Emily the negative because she's next in the rotation.
That is correct.
Exactly.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So you pick a +1 for you.
Skittish, organized, helpful. Skittish. So then I will take a 1 in stealth and give Emily
that works.
-1 in stealth. Yeah. Sneaky.
And I want a 1 in bureaucracy.
Okay. So, Bill, you have a -1.
Bill's not good at paperwork anyway.
I can't really think of a great one to give Leland a negative in, so I'm just going to stick to picking one that I think will fit with Roy.
He's intimidating but bad at guns.
Demolitions, I think, is something that Roy would be quite good at.
Oh, all right.
Okay, I mean, that's all right. For TR, he's actually scared of loud noises. So, I'm gonna give myself. Oh, sorry. So that was one round. We keep going.
That's right. So now we're going to go again, and now we're going to do a 2. So a positive 2 and a negative 2.
What? How many times do we do this?
We'll go around 5 times.
Whoa!
Okay.
And then, of course,
I should have waited.
Can you, on subsequent rounds, choose to put a positive into something that's already negative?
No, you cannot.
Okay. So there's a kind of a push your luck with. You might want your 5 in the specific one, but it might get negative.
Might be gone.
Okay.
Yeah,
By the time we get there.
he really held off on telling us the full story.
That's okay.
That's right. You'll find
But he's the
you'll find
he's
that's
the
a
computer.
common thread throughout this whole.
Yeah, he's allowed to do what
Yeah,
he
he's
wants.
getting in character for the computer.
Good choice, Mr. Computer. I agree with you.
Suck
So
up.
smart.
I
All
love
right,
you, friend computer.
I'm going to put a 2.
Suck up was my description before I made it anxious.
I'm going to put a 2 in melee.
Okay.
Oh, so now I have a -2?
Yes,
Do
you
we
do.
affect the same people throughout this whole thing?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Leland will constantly be screwing Elena. Elena will be constantly screwing over. Yes, exactly.
And I mean, Leland is good at melee, so...
So, you know,
guess
you
what
can
that
all be
means.
as friendly or as mean. You can discuss, you know, between the two of you what you would like to do.
What does operate mean, Mr. Computer?
Operate, it's being able to operate machinery, be able to operate any
Surgeons.
kind of tools. I mean, it's, yeah, exactly.
How is that different from engineer?
Engineer is the ability to interact with machinery, and what was the other one you said? Operate?
Yeah.
Manual operation of machinery. So drive, fly, hover, perform stunts, chase, flee, ram a vehicle into
Okay.
something. When engineer is build, repair, sabotage a machine, device or robot type of thing.
All right, well, thanks for the explanation. I now just think I'm going to choose a 2 and throw
Okay.
without any explanation. 'Cause
Okay.
I don't care about operating things.
I will choose a 2 in program.
That's fine. I didn't want to program anything.
All right. Bill?
Now, just as an example, let's say Leland has picked science as a +2.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I pick science, that would give Leland a -2. How does that work?
It doesn't stack, so it will not. He'll get zeros and things that if you pick that doesn't go into his slot if it's already filled.
So I can't affect a stat that he has already selected a modifier for.
That is correct. You can't change it.
In that case, you should be good at bluffing as well.
Bluffing is one that I was definitely eyeing.
Yeah, go for it. I support you in your decision in putting a 2 into bluff.
I'm gonna go.
You need to say it more aggressive. Get into character.
Because he doesn't want a negative elsewhere.
I know. This benefits Leland. But
Look,
I really want bluffing.
here's what I'll tell you. If you put 2 into bluff now, I'll give Elena a negative in whatever you want me to.
There you go.
Oh, okay. It's one of those kind of games.
I would like to state that this is exactly how this game is supposed to work.
This game is all stabby.
Don't forget the pokey pokey.
All right, buddy. I'm taking bluff.
And pokey pokey.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Bluff is always going to be safe for me because... No, it's not. Because it would be Emily, and Emily hasn't had her bluff filled in yet. Yeah, I'm going to take bluff right now. I don't want to wait and have it be a negative.
Yeah, because since I filled in Elena's, Elena will never fill in M's
Yeah,
bluff.
because
Exactly.
I'm super
That's exactly
screwed.
right.
Yeah.
So
Although-
you are going with bluff then?
Yep.
Bluff doesn't really fit with my character, so you probably would have been safe.
Wow.
Unless you
that's
piss me
all right.
off.
Okay,
Ooh.
so I'm a man of my word before we start this game. what do you want to give? What do you want to give -2 to Elena?
Oh! -3, actually, because we're starting the next
Oh,
round.
that's correct. Wow, you got a bargain on that one.
I sure did. So
Shouldn't have said anything.
that's what is inappropriate, a perfectionist and anxious.
I suppose conversely too, this is you choosing what I put my 3 in, which is also pretty good for you.
Is charm filled in for you?
It's not, no.
No.
Do you think TR is charming?
He's
he is.
more intimidating than charming.
He's got that B-D-E.
Let's go with intimidate then, because I think that makes sense for TR and for that's what.
Yeah, I like that.
You
okay,
think I'm
cool.
not intimidating?
Cool, I like it.
Come on.
3 and intimidate.
I feel like I screwed Elena over far too little there.
Yeah, me too. But you did play directly into my hand, which is all I care about. So.
Yeah.
I kind of, okay, so like I'm shaping up this picture now of that's what, where like I cannot bluff, I'm not intimidating, I can't do melee combat, but I'm good at throwing.
Good at throwing. Perfect.
And I'm taking a +3 in guns.
Wow, okay, so you're
gonna
making
throw
it
guns
grim.
at people.
That works for me too.
That's what's just gonna be throwing guns around.
I'm just real awkward and anxious, but get me
You got
stealthy
that-
and I can
That
just
anxious
chuck a
trigger
poison
finger is a
dart.
perfect combination.
Oh, great.
Yes, actually.
Oh, no.
It's like I'm skittish. No, that's Emily.
Yeah. Well, that works for me. I mean, -3 on guns with being skittish. I think that works. So I'm gonna take my 3 in science.
Science!
Rules. Bill. I hate that stupid shit. Science rules. All right, listeners, you know what I'm talking about.
I'm glad they do because I don't.
I only heard it every time we had a substitute teacher ever. It's the theme song to Bill Nye the Science Guy. It says
there you
science
go.
rules.
Okay, Bill.
Roy is going to take his +3 in psychology.
Very nice.
Whoa. Getting up in our heads.
All right.
Brain things.
It kind of makes sense. TR doesn't know what makes you tick, but he'll yell at you regardless. So I'll take a plus. I'll take my 4 in. I mean, I feel like athletics just makes sense. But I'm actually
Alright.
going to take my 4 in bureaucracy.
Oh, wow. So
Huh.
I really suck at paperwork.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't think of that for Throbby.
Emily, what are your blank
He's
spots
filled
right
out all
now?
the appropriate forms that allows him to yell at people.
That's right.
My blank spots are athletics, melee, psychology, alpha complex, bluff, charm, intimidate, operate, engineer, demolitions.
This is for my number 5 or 4?
4.
4. Okay, 4. Yeah, I'm taking a 4 in athletics.
Okay.
Wow.
It's a perfectionistic thing. I am obsessed with my body and fitness.
I gotcha. I like that. I know how that goes. It's hard work making a Greek Adonis like this, I tell you.
Exactly.
I will put my 4 in alpha complex.
Very nice. Very nice.
Ooh.
Good to know where you are
Yeah.
and what's going on.
And also bad to not know where you are and what's going on.
That is true. Bill?
Yeah.
That fits. It fits.
Leland, you already took guns, didn't you? Or no?
No.
It's Elena who took guns.
Guns are blank, throws blank, athletics is still blank. My melee's filled in though.
I feel like guns are reckless. So I'm going to take guns.
Awesome. That's a +4 for you in guns, and Leland a negative. Yep. You can't shoot much with that big, well,
Always getting in the way.
but you can,
He's shooting blanks.
you can do shooting blanks.
I was proud of that one.
Okay.
Good.
So
That's what
to
she
get my
said.
5. Oh man.
What am I gonna suck at? Just. Ugh.
I feel like I should just put my 5 in alpha complex.
Wow.
But I think I might actually put it in stealth.
Oh boy. Okay, there
She
you
already
go.
has that filled
Yes! My stealth is filled in, and I wanted to take 5 in Alpha Complex, baby.
All right.
Oh darn. Oh well.
All right, I know Alpha Complex like the back of my perfectionist hand.
Okay.
There you go.
And that's already filled in for me, so that's not a negative.
Oh, that's a chain of niceties that I do not enjoy.
You guys suck, man.
I am sorry I started that daisy chain.
So helpful.
I will put my 5 in. What makes sense?
Demolitions.
Definitely not. Well, that doesn't.
Psychology.
That doesn't make sense. I was
Psychology,
thinking
yeah.
psychology, but I don't know.
Good at head games, girl. I'm just kidding. Bill's already got psychology.
I know.
Just
That's why I
continue
was
the
encouraging
chain.
that.
I'm leaning towards operate, though.
That kind
I
of
don't know
makes
if that
sense.
makes sense.
I mean, you
Does
do
it
you.
with skittish,
Girl.
though? But organized. Maybe
you
engineer.
are extremely skittish, and you operate heavy machinery constantly.
Well, you're really good at driving and flying things, but just maybe
But not when anyone
Something
else
might
is in
hit
the
you.
vehicle with you.
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
You're flying a plane, and a bird comes out of nowhere, and you just crash. the plane.
Actually, that's perfect because with Roy being reckless, I have a feeling he's gonna crash things.
Okay.
Just wreak
Operate
havoc.
then.
Yeah.
Roy is
Yes.
always on his pad when he's driving. He's just distracted driving every single time he gets behind the wheel of anything that has wheels, an engine, or wings.
Oh, Roy.
All right. So this is my last one, eh?
Yep. Pick your best.
Traitorous, reckless, and helpful.
Traitorous.
I mean, being helpful and traitorous, you probably want to be charming.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh.
It's true.
I'm going for it. +5 to charming.
I think Leland's character would not.
Do you have that filled in, Leland?
So.
No, that's a -5
No.
for me. So
Which that probably makes sense.
I think it does. Yeah. Like I say, he doesn't inspire leadership. He wrestles it from you.
Yeah, charm, butter up, persuade, present to the camera, make good first impression, that kind of thing is under charm.
Actually,
And,
the way this is
you
going,
have none of that.
TR, you just won't see him until he's knocking you over the head with his BDE. So
Oh, there you go. Well, that is stealth, right?
yeah.
Yeah. It's a shocker. You don't want to know.
Oh, gosh.
Jesus.
Goodness gracious.
Okay.
Well,
All right, so as I said, it's all their fault.
what about the
So-
ones we have blank? What do we do about those?
So those are all going to be zeros.
Okay.
And now what we're going to do is if you look at your character sheet there, you'll see that, violence there, athletics, guns, melee, and throw, those 4 all relate to to violence, correct? So you're going to count up.
This is bad.
You're not going to write anything in there just yet.
Okay.
What I want you to do is I want you to look at athletics, guns, melee, and throw, and look and see how many positive numbers you have. That is
Does
numbers
zero
above
count?
zero. No, it doesn't. Numbers above 0. Okay, and I want you to write that number down, someplace off to the side,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
I want you to do the same thing with science, psychology, bureaucracy, and alpha complex, and put a number over to the side. And you're just writing the number of them, right? So if you have a +3, +2, +1, you're going to have a number 3, okay? Bluff, charm, intimidate, and stealth. And the last being the mechanics part of it, operate, engineer, program, and demolitions. So you should have 4 numbers.
Yes.
I don't like where this is going
Or
based on looking
zeros.
at my sheet.
0 is a number.
So when everybody has their 4 numbers, let me know.
Yeah.
I'm good.
All right. So now we're going to go around the table here. And Leland, you need to tell Elena your 4 numbers, and Elena is going to be able to put them into your stat blocks for you.
Oh, okay. Damn. Okay, so I got 1, 1, 3, and 0.
So now, Elena, you can look in violence, brains, chutzpah, and mechanics, and you can put his numbers on. You tell him where to put his numbers on his sheet.
I had to Google chutzpah real quick, all right?
That's sort of your sauciness.
Love him or
your-
hate him, you gotta admire his chutzpah.
Machismo?
Yeah, there you go. Your brashness.
Yeah, audacity. Oof.
Yeah, so thematically here, you get to get back at him a little bit for screwing you over on all of the skills.
Oh, man. This game's perfect for us.
Yeah, kind of is, right? I think he's got the most chutzpah. So I think he's a 3 in chutzpah.
Okay.
A 0 in brains, for
Yeah, that
sure.
makes sense.
And then the other 2 are 1.
Okay, well, I'm not very good at violence.
But you got the
Okay,
chutzpah.
I make up for it in the chutzpah.
So yeah, so Emily, mine was 3-1-1-0.
Okay, I want you to put your 3 in violence,
That's where it belongs.
your 0 in brains, and the other
Yes.
2s are 1s.
Yes.
Bill, I have 0, 3, 0, 2.
So my inappropriateness is now just like a violent inappropriateness.
So can is helpful, organized, and skittish. So violence will be 0.
Okay.
Brains will be 3.
Okay.
Mechanics will be 0.
Okay.
And chutzpah will be 2.
Alrighty, Rooney.
He's got that big brain energy.
BBE.
Is that everybody?
What are yours,
Here we go.
Bill?
Not me yet. So I am
Yeah.
1121.
Okay. You know what? I like this group having some chutzpah. So you got a 2 in the chutzpah. Everything else is 1, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
We got the cojones.
That works.
Throbby.
Okay. So as we said before, when you guys want to do something, you're going to use the combination of your stat number and pick a skill, and that's going to create your dice pool, which you'll be able to roll. So for example, if you had a 2 violence and you wanted to, say, use a gun that you had a 1 in, you would have 3 die, which would be called your node. And you can adjust that by using cards that may give you actions and pieces of equipment that might give you additional dice to put into your pool and different things like that. So let's talk about Moxie. So you see down in 4, part 4, you have 8 little circles called Moxie. And Moxie is more of your sort of your stress level that you might have. If you're stable, if you have a lot of Moxie, you're stable, right? You're competent. As you spend Moxie points, you will be using that up and becoming more and more erratic, you could say. So you can spend Moxie points to do things in the game, like add extra dice to your roll, and other things will happen, and I'll get into more of that later. So you have a maximum of 8, but right now, if you want to, you can eliminate your max Moxie points, which are now 8, and spend them to raise one of your some of your stats.
Is 5 the maximum?
You can only go to 5. So characters normally start the game with 8 Moxie points and 6 clones, but you can sacrifice them to have less bad characters. So right now we're talking about Moxie, but you can also sacrifice a clone. So
Ooh.
you can just kill one off and go ahead and put yourself up to number 2 and raise some of your stats. So you can spend up to 5 Moxie points to raise your skill, 1 Moxie point per skill point. So if you look at your skill selection of those 16 things, if you want to fill in one of your Moxie circles and it will be gone forever for you, you can raise one of those up. So we'll start with, I'll give you guys a few minutes to take a look at that.
While we're thinking about this, for example, if I were to raise a stat that's currently at 0, that would increase the number of positives I have in that column. Does that translate to an increase in my correlating skill?
No.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh. I thought we were only doing the 4 big skills. Okay.
Stats. The 4 big stats.
You can spend Moxie points to raise your skills.
Right.
Oh.
So
Not
1
stats.
Moxie per skill, and then you can burn a clone to raise your stats.
Ooh, that's pricey. Burn a clone. You only have 5
Yeah.
of those.
If I want my mechanics to go up, I have to burn a clone.
Yes.
That's right.
And it only goes up to 1.
If you're currently at 0.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Crap.
1 per clone. That is heavy. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll just read it to you. Each Moxie point spent is worth 1 skill point. You can spend Moxie to raise any skill, any amount, including negative ones, as long as you don't spend more than 5 Moxie points.
In the game, what would we be missing out to get rid of those Moxie points?
Well, yeah, you're going to spend those Moxie points for different things, like to add dice to your rolls. Let me read more to you about what Moxie is. No, that's okay. It's hard to make these decisions when you don't know exactly what everything is. So you can use Moxie points to get extra dice on a roll, 1 Moxie per die. If you're not happy with the result of an action, you can choose to try again, but only once per action. Spend a Moxie to re-roll your entire dice pool. We can get into mutants later, but unregistered mutants use Moxie to activate their power. So if you have a mutant power that you want to use, you would use Moxie to be able to do that.
And of course, we don't have any mutant powers because that's against what the computer wants.
No, there are definitely no mutant powers for
anti-mutant.
for me.
That's exactly right. So we haven't got to this point yet in the teach, but when you roll dice to do things, you're always going to roll a computer die, which is going to be another 6-sided die that you have as a different color. And if you roll a 6 on that, then you are going to have to spend a Moxie because you've drawn the attention of the computer. So you'll be burning through those.
Can we get Moxie back after we spend it?
Yes, you can get Moxie by spending 50 experience points will get you another Moxie point. Or you can also visit your happiness officer, and he will give you a Chiroxin stem pack, which will also make you happier and relieve some stress.
So that is only to recover spent Moxie, not to give you a max Moxie. The decision we make can never be affected for the rest of the game.
That's right. If you go reduce your Moxie by 2, you will only have 6 Moxie for the remainder of this campaign.
Okay.
As a max, I should say.
Man, I am seriously considering killing off one of my clones.
Oh, I've got my decision.
I thought I gave you some pretty good stats there, Em.
As my mechanics being 0, it kind of hurts.
Did I? I thought I gave you.
You chutzpud my 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
But does 0 mean that you get no dice?
Well, you'll have whatever you have on your stat, and then your skill, and then you will be requesting to me the skills and stats that you want to use. Now, if you have a negative number, and we'll get into all of this later, you will also be able to roll that number of dice. So if you have a -3, you're going to roll 3 die. The thing is, you have to get a 5 or a 6 to be successful, and anything that's not a 5 or a 6 with negative die will be taken away. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So, for example, I'm going to set a skill challenge for you. So, say I know that it's going to be 2 successes for you to be able to complete something, right? So you're going to create your dice pool. So maybe you have 3 dice. You'll roll, and you'll have to get 2 of them will have to have a 5 or a 6 on them to be able to be successful, right?
Wow. Yeah.
If you have only negative numbers within your dice pool, so you have a skill that's a negative, you're not very good at it. If you don't roll the 5 or 6s that are, whatever is not a 5 or a 6 will subtract from the number
Of 5
from your
successes.
successes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yes.
terrible.
Yeah, it's very punishing.
Yes. So you want to try to be good at things, right?
Sure.
You want to
Okay.
try to convince me to be able to use your best stats to create your dice pool to complete whatever it is you're trying to do.
Right. So it would not be beneficial for you if there's a situation that your character is bad at to not try to tackle that situation.
That's right. Maybe you could, if you're very good at something else, convince somebody else to do it.
Right. It's the same as like playing Elder Signs. Don't go into a room where you can't roll the dice to get out of it. Well, I have made my decision.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I
let's.
think I have
I'm
2.
good.
If everybody's pretty good, let's go around the table then. We'll start with Leland.
All right, I'm getting rid of 4 Moxie to boost Bluff to 5. And
Wow.
I killed 2 clones to make my violence 3.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
We're going all in here. We're maxing. We're min-maxing this bastard.
Damn. Burning clones. That's
So what happens
Leyland's
if
going
you...
to be sitting out the second half of this mini
Yeah.
campaign.
What happens if you run out of clones and the game's still going?
Yeah, you're dead.
you're gone. You're going to be a bystander.
I'm gonna be so good at throwing punches and stuff. As long as I don't have to touch a gun, I'm all right.
But you know us, we just role play. I'm not gonna be
You
in
haven't
combat.
heard me roleplay a punch yet, so you wait. You wait.
I actually decided after hearing the full explanation to do nothing.
Okay.
So we're very opposite ends of the spectrum. Take what I got.
All right. Go to Emily.
I spent 1 moxie to move my stealth from a -1 to a 0. And I'm going to burn 1 clone to take my mechanics from a 0 to a 1. So I put a
Okay.
2 at the end of my name now.
Yep. If you burn a clone, just move yourself up.
Moving on up.
Okay, Bill.
I am going to burn 2 Moxie
Okay.
to increase my bluff from +2 to +4.
Very nice. So whatever Moxie you've done, just fill those in with a pen because you'll never get them back. And then as you burn Moxie, you can mark those off with a pencil as we go, and then we'll go back and forth as you gain and lose it. So we have wounds listed. There is hurt, injured, maimed, and dead. So if damage is dealt against you and you get hurt, there's different levels. So hurt means a character is in pain, but not damaged so badly that they can't do anything. However, while you are hurt, you must subtract 1 from your node number, which is the number of dice you roll. Injured, you're in so much pain that you can't focus properly. Subtract 2 dice from your node number. Maimed is much worse. You've lost use of one of your body parts. This may be because you've lost it, or the GM will tell you either way if you need an urgent medical attention. Each round that you don't get urgent medical attention, you must roll 1 die. On a 1, you die. You can still perform task, whatever part of your body is still attached, but it's with a -3 to your node number.
Ouch.
And dead. It's obvious, but not so obvious. We didn't need to write it in the section. When your character has been successfully attacked, the GM will tell you how badly you're injured. Cross off the appropriate box for your character sheet and the ones that come before it. So if you're maimed, cross off hurt and injured boxes too. You take damage of a type that you've already suffered. Fill out an empty box on the damage track, the next one. So if you've already been hurt and you get hurt again, you will now go up to maimed.
Injured.
If you get hurt again. Well, it says if you're hurt and you get hurt again, that drops you down to injured. If you're injured and get hurt again, you're maimed, yes.
Okay.
There are ways you can get first aid. We'll get into those kind of things later on. So that's what those blocks mean on your character sheet. So then we'll go into equipment. Now, typically when we start the campaign, we'll hand out pieces of equipment and different things as we're playing, and you would play these around the table in different ways. But I went ahead and sent you guys these different things, and also sent you a list of all the cards. So therefore, during the game, if we have to randomly pull things, I'll pull them out, and then I'm going to have you be able to go look up on your sheet, so you'll be able to have all the information that you need. That's just, I think it'll be easier with the podcast. Then the other thing about it is you may be a mutant. You may be in a secret society. And of course, all these things are treasonous. So you don't want your friends that you're hanging out with to know any of these things. So real quickly, we'll go through some of the cards that you may or may not have. So for example, you also have a objective card. It is one of the orange cards that I sent you guys. This gives you little flavor that you're going to be able to do. Like, for example, the one that I have in front of me right now is called Team Leader. It says you're responsible for ensuring that the mission objectives are carried out appropriately, giving instructions that are clear, easy to understand, and not wrong, seeing that all team members are performing their assigned duties correctly, and not being or going wrong. So that would be your character's sort of overall goals as the team leader in Alpha Complex. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So, there's also, as you would think, in this utopia, not everybody is always happy all the time, although you should be. But if you're not, you may have some idea that there's something better or something different in Alpha Complex or outside of Alpha Complex. And there are groups of people who have these ideas. Of course, they're all traitorous, and the Friend Computer would like to weed these people out. But they are in secret societies. And some of you may or may not be in a secret society. But if you are, they have outlined on the cards things that agendas or goals that you may be trying to attain or do throughout the campaign. So what we'll do, also, we'll just move on here, the same with mutant powers. Sometimes as the computer clones different people over time, there may run into some little difficulties or things that don't just always work out exactly the way they should, and you could end up with a mutant power. Of course, the computer doesn't make mistakes, so those mutant powers would be, of course, treasonous to have one of those. So if you do find yourself with a mutant power, you may want to keep that to yourself. So some of you may or may not have mutant abilities. So while we're playing the game, if somebody wants to use a mutant ability or they want to talk about their secret society or maybe tell me about your objective, we'll do like we did on the other podcast and kick everybody off mic for a minute and let you guys have that interaction with me, so then we can go back to the game and see how those things play out. But they're going to be a lot faster, I think, than our other campaign, because it should just be a quick conversation.
Earplugs. Earmuffs.
That's right. So some of you also will have different equipment, pieces of equipment. If you look at your equipment cards, it'll tell you different things on it. One of the things you'll see on there is it says action order. Well, in the game that you play around the table, there is a mechanic in which you put cards down sort of to create initiative. It's sort of a bluffing type thing where you pick what you think your initiative, you say what your initiative is so you can go before other people, and then people can call your bluff, and then you flip your cards over and you find out. We're not going to do that in this podcast. What we're basically going to do is go around the table. I'll let you know who's going to get first in initiative, and then we're just going to go around. But that being the case, so that action order on your equipment cards and other places that you might see it, we're going to ignore that for this campaign. So you have pieces of equipment. They're pretty self-explanatory. If you want to use one of these and you don't want anybody else to know, we'll kick everybody off mic and you can let me know. And then also you have action cards. Well, these action cards are going to give you the ability to increase your dice pool number and help you out with different things that you're trying to accomplish. If you look at your card, there's some of those cards might have a little arrow pointing up, a little circle arrow. Those are reactions also. So you can use them as an action, or you can also use them as a reaction to somebody else. So if somebody's trying to climb a ladder and they have a card or something to allow them to do it, you could play this reaction card, which might do something that's going to prevent them from being able to climb the ladder. Does that all make sense?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions?
Not yet.
Oh, man.
Nope.
This is going to be intense.
I'm sure there will be later.
Okay, so that's pretty much, I've already handed that equipment out, so that would be part of what we're doing for character creation.
Are we going to talk about what equipment or things we have on mic at all?
Well, I think the way I'd like to play it out is we'll do it as it happens, right? If you guys, you're more than welcome to let everybody know everything about you day one, but you'll have to face the consequences of that. This is not necessarily a cooperative game. This is a game in which everyone's out for themselves to attain the next level of security clearance, to keep Friend Computer happy, to advance your own selfishness, and use other people to be able to accomplish those goals. Friend Computer is always there to help, and correct anything that you may do incorrectly to help you become a better citizen of Alpha Complex. And that's pretty much it for character creation. We'll get into combat and all the other things as we start playing the game next time we get together.
Sweet. I'm excited.
Yep, me too. This will be fun.
Yeah, this is going to be... I think there's a name for it that we actually have a picture created for, thanks to Emma.
What's that?
Shitstorm?
Yep, that's it.
One big shitstorm.
Okay, so what we're going to be playing when we get back together is a Paranoia module called Trouble by the Boxload. And I'm going to read a little bit here at the beginning to sort of fill you in on what you're going to be doing and prepare you, give you something to think about until the next time we get together. So as troubleshooters, you are all sent out on missions, of course, all the time for whatever the friend computer needs or whatever trouble there is to shoot. So you've been sent out. It's a slow day. 5 troubleshooter teams were all sent to the same slightly shifty report that there was a non-regulation mop. And you all showed up at the same time and to find out about this. So it's, there's really nothing going on because all these different troubleshooters show up for this non-regulation mop problem that came up. And, it's only been one gunfight today, really, to speak of. Actually, 2. The one gunfight is in response to all the troubleshooters that showed up, which created a second gunfight. So you decided to go ahead and document these as gunfight 1A, not our fault, and gunfight 1B, also not our fault, as you head back to the debriefing room to let everybody know that you've accomplished your mission. And when you get there, you see just boxes everywhere. Boxes, large boxes, small boxes, little tiny boxes, boxes that are irregular shaped, more than you can possibly count. There's maybe some stuff that's laying off on the floor, random stuff spilled out. So you walk into the briefing room. It's some are open, and you try to avoid looking into the boxes, of course, because you don't want to see anything that might be, secure. You wouldn't want to be seeing something that you shouldn't be seeing. So you try not to look, but occasionally you do get a glimpse of a few things. It looks like it's maybe some office supplies or something, but you quickly move away when your head away when you look. So looks like what you do see is maybe fasteners, boots, bowls, spoons. I love computer badges, cups, screws, light bulbs, mop heads, leaflets, parts from the robot potentially, half of a screwdriver set. Of course, there's squirty food dispenser nozzles, things that you're very familiar with, but you're walking by this. So there's no real briefing in the briefing room, but a yellow clearance clerk walks up with a clipboard and says, this lot, waving the HOEs of checklist, needs to go to warehouse 749921 about an hour ago. Right now will do, or very soon in a pinch. Slow day, you're the surplus requirements here. You're the lucky set here. You didn't have to do the food vat duty. So get all these boxes and get them to warehouse 749921. And that is where we're going to start the adventure.
I wrote down 2 different numbers. At first I wrote 774921, and then he's like 749921. I'm like, did he say the same number?
Yeah, he did.
I'm already bad at my job. Illegible handwriting. I can't even.
Make sure you fill out the correct form.
Ugh, I do not have the correct warehouse.